Karstcast. My name is Jeff. I watch movies sometimes.
And I'm Karsten. I also watch movies sometimes. You're listening to the Karstcast Movie Cast.
That's a new theme song. That's a
good theme song. Like, this is the first I've heard it.
Right? So I got really bored last night. I made that. Welcome to the 58th episode, by the way. We didn't leave.
That's the only thing I would have wanted, is that you just been like episode, and then we could be like 58.
Yeah, that's right. We were talking about that. And then like it just cuts out for a second and we're both like 58 or something.
Yeah. The rest of it though is dynamite.
Thank you. Here's the issue. I made it and then I finished it and I was like, wow, that's the first time I've made like a good theme song. Like, I'm really happy with how that turned out. But then I was like, it sounds kind of familiar. And I don't know if anyone has listened to the Two Bears, One Cave podcast, but they are pretty much exactly the same.
Did you?
So
you just plagiarized our theme song?
I didn't plagiarize, but they both, and I'm not going to beat myself up too hard. Both like a lot of podcast theme songs have that like record scratch thing. That's like a common thing. So I'm like, I can get off the hook with that. They are pretty similar in terms of just the bass line. So you know what? I'm gonna do some thinking on it, but that's what we got for right now.
Mm-hmm. This is also big changes this episode. We're for the first time using Zoom to record.
Yeah, we are.
Which we used to use. Well, we used Google. Wait, no, we used Facebook's Messenger video for like one episode in the beginning.
Yep.
We used like a couple other weird things. Like we did a couple where internet was so bad we only did voice.
Yeah.
Which was really bad.
That was in Paris, I think. That was really hard because I was like, I'm across the world, and it's not like I'm with my boy Jeff. We're not in the same room together.
Yeah. Doesn't like here. It feels like we're in the same room talking through some kind of quarantine window.
Right. I also, as soon as you brought up Zoom, I realized I wasn't recording the screen like I said I would. So there's going to be like first like 2 minutes of this are going to be no video, but now we're recording.
But I mean, we don't even know if we were going to release the video.
Yeah. It all depends on my internet, which is a huge hassle. I don't know if anyone has used Xfinity, but that's what my family is switching over to. And I've heard mixed things, but it has to be better than what we have right now.
Yeah, that's what I had at my old apartment, and it was decent. It was better than what my parents have, which is Spectrum.
Okay. Yeah.
In Florida.
Brought that up last episode. I made sure my dad was like, what about Spectrum? And I was like, well, I don't know if you listen to the podcast, Dad, but we talked about.
I mean, to be fair, all of them are bad, and they effectively have regional monopolies, or I guess oligopolies. But like a lot of them they like make deals with each other to only service certain places so that they can charge more money, and they're all evil.
So that's what I realized. It's like we had this problem. Our internet's been bad. And then last year over the summer, I was like, I've had enough. So I called the company and I was like, we want to upgrade. And he's like, okay, yeah, upgrade. But this is before I realized what you just said, that like you can only get so good depending on where you live. And he didn't tell me that. He didn't tell me that like basically we were already at our peak so upgrading was kind of stupid. So we upgraded anyways, me not knowing that. And I bet I've just spent the last year being like, why is it still so bad? And it's because we live in the middle of nowhere on a farm. But hopefully Xfinity, I don't know. But how has your week been, Jeff? You look frozen. I think you. I'm gonna wait for him to hop back in, but Jeff froze. I'm assuming he might be talking at the same time.
Wow.
But very funny how this happened during our talk about bad internet. I don't know what to do. I'm gonna cut this part. There he is.
Hello.
There he's. Are you still recording?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'm just gonna splice it all. We're
talking?
Just
gonna pretend that didn't happen. No, I realized immediately that happened.
When did it cut out?
It cut out. I don't remember. You were saying something, and then I switched over to look at a web page real quick, and then it cut out, and I'm like, you stopped talking mid-sentence. That's probably not good.
See, I was mid-sentence. I was like, Jeff's not moving. I tossed the question over to you. I forget what the question was, and then I was like, oh, Jeff's frozen, which I think it's pretty
Jeff
hilarious.
really doesn't have an answer for this. I'm like,
I think it's hilarious that happened during a conversation about bad internet, but
I think they were listening to us.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, bad internet. I'll show you bad internet.
Well, anyways, that was fun. So far, Zoom is pretty great.
Well, the screen recording is really nice. We're gonna have to see the reliability.
Yeah. Well, anyways. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. While we're on the topic of shitty softwares, not that Zoom is shitty, but what I'm saying is, I have had the worst week with Avid Media Composer, and I won't get into the details, but it's been awful.
What have you been using it for?
My editing 3 class, which is fine, and my professor's been a lot of help, but like I've had to catch up on 2 assignments which are now late, but he's excused them, thankfully. But basically, cutting straight forward, this has resulted in me downgrading my laptop back to Mac OS Mojave, where it was whatever it's called before.
So you had to downgrade your operating system?
Yes. Yeah, for this to work.
For a software that's like a high-end software.
Yes. For the industry standard editing software.
That's terrible.
Really? Yeah, it's awful. And downgrading means doing so much. It means like backing up everything you have. And it's like, I did that. I got all the important stuff, but I did lose all of my sound effects. We got a few of them back, but most of them are, it's too hard to
recently had to do the opposite of what you did, where I had an issue with my flash memory on my MacBook.
Okay.
It was telling me that the system was using like half of the entire hard drive with system files.
Yeah.
Because it was some issue with like the way it was like allocating temporary like cache files, and it was like these are vital, so they wouldn't like let you write over them. So anyways, I'm like, I wonder if I upgrade my operating system, if that will magically fix it. And it did, luckily.
Wow.
But yeah, I pretty much had effectively like a 100 gigabyte hard drive because I couldn't add anything other, like every free space it was saying was like vital to system functions.
That's really,
it was annoying. Like, no, I need this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you don't need this.
That's stupid. Yeah.
But my problem was not as bad as yours.
No, I mean, I fixed it. It's just now it's a pain in the ass because it's like a bunch of my stuff is not that Mojave's an old system, but it's not Catalina or whatever.
It's not Catalina.
It's not Catalina.
It's not as cool of a name. Actually, no, it is. I'm wrong. Mojave is cool.
Oh my God. When Mojave first got released and they introduced dark mode, I was like, this changes the game. And I love dark mode and use stacks on the desktop. Use stacks is a beautiful function. I'll keep this brief, but it's kind of an illusion because you think your desktop's all clean, but then you open up screenshots, for example. I have a lot of screenshots because I need them for videos, and it's like, now it's over. I need to go through it and clean. But
so you're a big dark mode guy.
Huge dark mode guy. I've
never used dark mode.
Oh my God. Why? Why?
I got regular mode on Twitter. I got it on everything.
Oh my God. Wait. You have regular mode on Twitter?
Yep.
That's weird. Doesn't it hurt your eyes after a while?
I mean, maybe, but I don't know any different.
Man.
You know, I'm like, don't change what's currently not broken. Even if it's slowly damaging my eyes.
I have dark mode everything. Dark mode YouTube is a good one. But
YouTube has dark mode?
Yeah, and it's
I don't know why I'm surprised at that. Like, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it's a really good it makes the videos, I don't know.
That one actually makes sense because it's more of like a theater experience.
Yeah. People get really confused.
Like
yeah. People get confused though because it's like I'll have screenshots from YouTube where you can see I use dark mode, but my whole thing is that my videos all have white backgrounds, like bright white thumbnails and white back, and they're like, doesn't that defeat the purpose if you're, and I'm like, yeah, it does, but it's aesthetically pleasing to me.
You know what? I just realized that you're recording the video of this. And I have terrible light on me right now. It's like coming directly from the window, so it's just like blasting the side of my face.
Yep.
And also, people now, if you actually if you release this video, I'm sure you will release some episodes going forward is the plan. But if you release this one, people will notice that I hold this stupid mic in front of my mouth. That's like what I've done the last like 20 episodes.
Yeah. It's a good setup. I can't believe
it's kind of comfortable.
You still use that mic. And it's honestly, it's better than your first mic that you had.
I know.
I really like that mic. Yeah.
I'm just like, hello. I feel like a talk show presenter. But it's for people who are listening, if this is not a video podcast.
Yeah.
I'm just holding the one leg of the tripod that's built into this little travel mic that I bought for my trip.
It's a great setup. You can see I have my bed unmade behind me, so that's.
Oh yeah, this is just a curtain that I clothespin.
Yeah,
open or closed.
I should get one of those for my. It would help with actual videos, but I don't record my face that often. So
do you bring your ring? Do you have your ring light home, or is that
no? That's it. That's under my bed collecting dust with a lot of other equipment that I have been away from for way too long. I miss it so much. I miss my setup.
The ring light.
I'd be doing so many live streams.
That's the selfie light.
Honestly, that ring, like the ring light, is my least favorite thing that not that I own, but it's kind of overhyped. It makes me. It shows off way too much that I don't want people to see. Like I love just a natural window light that does the job so nicely.
Yeah, just not like this window where it's kind of like from the direct side. That's weird.
that messes things up. Yeah. What else? So as soon as I fixed the editing problem, I have a canker sore now in the back of my throat next to my uvula. So that
sounds annoying.
Really painful.
It feels like that would hurt to talk.
Yeah, it goes on and off. Not to mention that's not the only canker sore I have. I have that one. I have one in my inner lip. I have one under my tongue. And I don't know why. I mean, I've been eating a lot of spicy food, I guess, but
if this is how this podcast is now, imagine if we're like old and did this podcast, like how much we would complain about things. Like, you know what? My room is way too cold. And my son only calls me once every 2 weeks.
I can't wait for us to be like, have families and stuff. And instead of me being like the son in the family, I'm like, my kids are
and then
recording
your kid
their
is
own
a YouTube
podcast. Yeah.
Your kid's a YouTube star.
I want a whole YouTube family.
But your kid does like makeup tutorials instead of video essays.
Whatever makes
He's like, this is how to look like Spider-Man.
It's like those kind of makeup tutorials.
Yes. Oh. It's like a lot of contouring.
What else? I just wanted to say...
Yeah. Like, what else? As in, like, that was all planned things that we would talk about.
I have a few things. Well, today I put out a new video on BoJack.
Oh, yeah. I have to watch that.
Yeah, I worked... I usually don't, like, tell my friend Nick. Our friend Nick, he just watched it. He sent me a message.
But he doesn't watch BoJack, right?
He just finished BoJack. I put him on.
I thought that you said that he watched it and said he didn't like it because it's like what old people.
He did say that. Yeah. And then
he changed his mind.
Now that we're in quarantine and he has nothing else to do, he decided he was like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna go through it." And he, as usual, really liked the rest of the show because that's how it goes. I was in the same boat as him, and he just said, "Just watched your video, really loved it." I think he's mixed on the ending, which a lot of people are, but. He's like most people where he liked the second to last episode more than the last episode. And I'm like, that's fair. But my video explains why the actual finale is perfect. And I brought it up because that video is bombing. Nobody is watching it. So
that's bombing?
It's out of the last... YouTube does this thing where it can rank your last 10 videos on performance. And this one is dead last.
I'll have to watch it to really pump up those numbers.
Right, yeah. Jeff will bring in...
That'd be really bad. You're like, if you watch it, you're doubling the amount of views. It's just you and Nick.
You're like, whoa. Yeah, it's doing awful. Yeah. But it's fine. I expected this, and I've grown to be okay with it because I'm proud of the video. It's not like it was a video where I was trying to get views and it bombed.
Right, that was a video that you wanted to make for like not you weren't the goal wasn't necessarily to get views.
No,
like, that was just what you would hoped would happen.
Yeah, there was that one kid in our patron hangout who was really excited when I brought it up. So I hope this makes him happy.
Hopefully they watched it.
Yeah, he's like, I still haven't seen it, but you know,
I should try to come up with like a super clickbait title for a video for you.
Yeah.
And then you just make a video to that title.
It's basically what we're doing with this short film we're doing. But
yeah.
I think that's all. I had so many things to like. I'm really grateful to have a podcast in the middle of this because, and I've come to this realization. It's like, it's awful that this is all happening, but it's like, and it's because I only talk to my family. Like I don't talk to,
right.
And it's like, I have so many things on my mind.
Like this is the next best thing to talking to someone face to face because we at least like are still staring at each other.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's like a lot of my friend group, it's like we only get together to do Zoom calls like this when it's game night, which we're doing tonight. But it's like, that's like once a week. I'm like, can we do this more often? We do a lot of Netflix parties that are fun, but not enough. And I had a lot that I had to get off my chest this week, like my canker sore.
That's what you got to bring up at game night. Some game night content.
Got to get that off my chest and off my mouth. I don't have the drum thing in my sound effects.
You lost the sound.
Yeah, I just and they're all way too loud again because I have to reset the settings. But I think that's enough of an intro, of a recap.
That was honestly, that was a weird intro.
It's a lot to introduce.
I guess my last thing was that. Yeah. I guess 6 days ago. Yeah. I did the Zoom call with some listeners of this podcast. Yeah. I mean, it was at one point we had 16, so I think that was every listener.
Yeah, couldn't get more than that. To be honest.
And then we came up with an idea.
Yep.
That's going to be a Karstcast movie cast film in the making. So I'm just about done writing the script based off some feedback, and we're working on it. Yeah. So I'm gonna try to get you footage by the end of this upcoming week.
Sounds good. I'm looking forward.
So that's all I'm gonna say for it for now.
If we're this thing could end up really bad.
Oh, it could end up really bad. All I'm guaranteeing is that we're gonna release something.
We're gonna Will our names be attached to it? To be determined, but that thing will be out.
Yeah, so you can tell what we think of it because if we don't like it, we are giving full credit to T Sizzle.
Was he in the hangout?
No,
but he did.
We're just going to credit. We're going to do in the beginning a huge title card, a film by T Sizzle.
Oh man, a T Sizzle production.
Yeah. Starring T Sizzle.
On a similar note, I should send you the link to my short film.
You should.
Is now finished. I just yesterday put it up on my solo Patreon, and so for people to watch because some people really want to see it. I'm like, you know what? I'll just put it out.
You know what? I have one last thing.
Yep.
And then we can get into our movie.
Yeah.
Which I love how we never like announce the movie in the episode at all. We never we're going to be talking about Blue Velvet today. We didn't say that. We're just like, okay, now we're talking about Blue Velvet. Like what?
That's how it goes.
Very not structured.
No, we'll get better at it.
Yeah, but I am going to give a recommendation this week, but I'm going to do it now because I know I'm going to forget if we don't do it now. And this is a recommendation that I did on the Zoom Hangout with both you and the listeners.
Okay.
When I did the last Zoom Hangout.
Yeah.
It's this game called GeoGuessr.
Yes. Such a good game.
Yeah, where you go to it's called GeoGuessr. It's not spelled exactly like you would think. It's missing some letters to sound cool, kind of like Twitter.
Right.
Wait, Twitter's not
missing any letters. I don't know why you said that.
No, it's like more Tumblr. There you go.
Like Grindr.
Yeah, like Grinder and Tumblr.
Grinder and Tumblr.
I went to the one that sounds like the same, but it's not missing any letters. But it just drops you on like a map, like Google Maps, like on a street view, and you have to look around and then guess where you are on a map. Now, I've gotten reasonably good.
Jeff's really good at this because he travels, you know.
That's probably not why.
That's probably not why. I don't know why I said that.
No, it's mainly I have some rules. If it looks like Europe, but kind of like worse, it's always Russia. That's the big one. And it's always kind of close to Moscow. Yeah. It's kind of close to Moscow usually because that's where everyone lives.
Yeah. My thing is that if I see hills, well, it's Brazil, most likely. Mm-hmm. Like
it's like kind of tropical.
A lot of green. Yeah.
Yeah. It's usually Brazil because there's just so many roads there.
Yep.
But yeah, you can also move around like on the map, just like in Google, because it is just like Google Earth. Mm-hmm. So you can move around, but the way I play is I feel like that's because then you could just keep moving until you see a sign and then you'll figure it out. But I just like not moving. Like I'll like pan in a circle and then zoom on like signs and stuff.
That makes it more fun.
I think the most fun way to play it is not moving.
I wonder if anyone gets trapped in like the middle of nowhere and they just move until they see something. And they've been playing for like hours. They're like, come on, just give me this one.
Yeah.
They see Vegas.
I got one where I was completely in the middle of nowhere. Like there wasn't even a road. It was just like a dirt path, and it was just like nothing for like miles and miles. And I got it like pretty close.
That's insane.
I was like, this. Yeah, it was the middle of Mongolia. Because I kind of knew what the middle of Mongolia looked like because I've seen like a couple documentaries where it's just like completely flat with like some kind of hilly mountains in like far distance. Yeah, and I'm like, and it's also but like the ground is like very flat and green.
Right.
So I'm like, this feels like Mongolia. So I just kind of clicked sort of like northern-ish Mongolia, and it was right. And I felt very smart.
Nice.
Anyways, GeoGuessr.
GeoGuessr.
It's a fun game to play.
Very fun. Oh my God, wait. I do have it. It was one of the sounds that came with it. Not that I was going to use it for a joke.
That does make sense. Honestly, that would be the most obvious sound to include with the soundboard.
Right. That one and I don't know why we don't use the drum roll more often. But yeah.
Okay, wait. And today we're going to be talking about
Blue Velvet.
Blue Velvet.
Directed by David Lynch. You know what I just realized?
Directed by T. Sizzle.
T. Sizzle, one of his earlier films. I realized, and this is perfect for the video, I'm wearing my David Lynch shirt without even realizing it.
And I'm wearing Blue Velvet.
Get there. There we go. Yeah. The thing is,
it really distracts from the sound effect when I hear going, get there.
I need a drum roll just to get to the.
You know what? Honestly, I want a sound effect of you saying, get there.
It could apply to so many things. Yeah.
Oh, you also didn't ask me a trivia question?
I didn't, and I realized that as soon as I started talking about the theme song.
Yeah, because I also was realizing that it'd be funny if you, as I was thinking, it was just you saying, get there. As I'm like thinking of an answer. I was like, where would get there
do you want a quick effect? A quick
I feel like now that I brought it up.
Yeah.
Yes,
which female singer collaborated with Eminem for the song Stan? I know the answer to this one. That is the best Eminem song. But
oh man, I don't know this.
That's a tough one. It's a Ditto. I don't even know if that Dido. Yeah,
it's Dido.
It's Dido. Okay, so, that's the thing.
So together we got there. You knew who it was. I knew how it was pronounced.
Get there. Yeah.
Yeah, my mom was really into Dido.
Really? She's really good on that song. That's a sample. I think it's a sample.
Oh, is it from White? Is the sample from like White Flag?
I mean, I didn't even know. You know, I just know the song.
That's the best Dido song.
Okay. The one.
What if that was like the most controversial thing we've ever said on the podcast? I'm like, White Flag, best Dido song. And we just got like 1,000 comments.
What the fuck? Yeah. Blue Velvet. Speaking of controversial, this isn't even a controversial. This is probably David Lynch's least controversial film. Maybe. That's actually probably not true. It's probably, I don't know. It's his most, based on what I've read, I haven't watched all of his movies. In fact, this is only, I think, the third I've seen, but
Yeah.
based on
I
what
thought
I've-
you were okay. I honestly thought you were like really into David Lynch.
I am, but he's got a lot of films. I have not seen a lot of them. I've only seen Eraserhead.
I mean, as a director, according to this, he doesn't have that. He has like 10 films.
He's got a lot of short films, but yeah.
Okay, yeah, a lot of short films.
David Lynch movies. I've only seen Eraserhead, Mulholland Drive, and I think this one. This is the third.
I have only seen this one and The Elephant Man.
How is The Elephant Man?
It's good.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I saw it at the Music Box.
Oh, nice. Yeah, his movies are stuff that I really would like to see in theaters. Not only because he's pretty strict about it, but yeah, I think I've already brought up the iPhone thing on this podcast. Either that, no, I brought it up in the Google Hangout. Yeah, Blue Velvet. It's known as his most accessible film by a lot of his fans.
It is?
Yeah, which says a lot.
How inaccessible are the other films?
What do you think this is like? What are you trying to say? Like this? Is
I
already.
I just wouldn't say this was accessible.
No, it's not.
I mean,
but
it's not It's not super inaccessible. But I'm not saying like this is not what I'd point to and be like.
That's
something everyone can get behind.
There are a lot of like. It's a pretty like easy story to follow, I guess.
Okay, from that point, yes.
Like, but it still has a heavy dose of like. This would never happen, which is the point.
Right.
And I'm going to get into that in a little bit, but I'll read the Google synopsis. I was going to make my own again, but this is where we're at. College student Jeffrey Beaumont returns home after his father has a stroke. When he discovers a severed ear in... Oh, Jesus. In an abandoned field, Beaumont teams up with detective's daughter, Sandy Williams, to solve the mystery. They believe beautiful lounge singer Dorothy Valens may be connected with the case, and Beaumont finds himself becoming drawn into her dark, twisted world where he encounters sexually depraved psychopath Frank Booth.
Yeah.
So that's the synopsis.
So there's... Before we get into like
Right.
any kind of discussion... I was going to say analysis, but we don't really do that. We just talk about
for the
things.
first time, I have an analysis for one part of this film that I think is pretty cool.
Okay.
But
okay, I'm actually excited for that.
Yeah.
But I just want to have to get this out of the way that there was one part of this film that I found kind of distracting.
Okay.
And it's very specific to me and some other people that are like me, in that this movie, I would bet money, says the name Jeffrey more than any other film that's ever been made. Because normally you have a character and it doesn't really matter what their name is. It's said like 6 times in the whole film.
Right.
But this film, everyone goes and says, Jeffrey, Jeff, Jeffrey.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of distracting when your name is Jeffrey.
Yeah. I've noticed this about David Lynch movies and just him in general. He really likes saying a person's name when he has the chance. Like in interviews,
like it.
He's like, there was this guy, I think it was a Vice interview, and his name was like Eddie, and he's like, "Good to be here, Eddie." And I'm like, you didn't need to say Eddie at the end of that, but yeah, he says it a lot. I saw David Lynch speak at this event in Chicago in the fall, and he did it a lot. It was a disaster.
Did he ever see Karsten?
Did he? No, he never saw. I would love for him to say Karsten at some point. Just Karsten.
What if that? that sounds like your one dream. Like someone takes a video of this and then they make one of those like montage YouTube videos where it's like they classify as like your only dream in life is for David Lynch, and then it just goes around like there's a hashtag get David Lynch to say Karsten.
I should start that because David Lynch is not as hard of a person to access as people think. He's very active on the internet. That
would be our soundbite for the soundboard.
Is him saying Karsten? Oh my god!
Whenever
he would definitely say that.
I tried to make fun of you.
Yeah,
you would just like Karsten, and then it would be like, yeah, remember who said that?
Yeah. Voice crack there. I have some discussion questions because I was just curious to see what you thought of this, Jeff. Because once again, it is a hit or miss type of movie. Some people really hate it. Some people really love it. Like me, I was not expecting to love this thing, and I've seen it twice now. And I only watched it for the first time like 2 weeks ago. probably longer than that. But I really like this movie.
Yeah, because you went out of your way to say this. I want to do this for the podcast.
Yeah, yeah.
Because usually we're just kind of like, what do you want to watch? And I'm like, I don't know. What about a movie with chimpanzee playing hockey?
Right. Well, it's like most valuable primate. Well, it's like we've never talked about David Lynch on the podcast, and for some reason I was like, he seems like there's a lot of discussion there, and this is a good movie to break that open, and I just really love it, and I wanted to know what you thought. I had one last kind of general question, for you, and we could get back to this later. Yeah,
but I haven't seen a ton of Lynch work,
right?
But I've seen like a few, and I don't fully feel like I get it.
Yeah,
because a lot of people like love David Lynch.
Yeah,
and I think it like some of the stuff. I think like Elephant Man's very good, but I don't see why there's this whole like cult of like David Lynch is everyone's like favorite director type things. So can you explain?
To be honest, I also did not get it up until I want to say a month ago. Like around the same, I don't want to say when I watched this film, but around the same time, because I got his, I don't know why, but I got this, I got his biography for Christmas and I haven't read it up until now. And I've started reading it. I'm like 3 chapters deep, but it's really cool. It's like this author, I forget the name, recounts his life. And then he, in the next chapter, or in the same chapter, basically like talks about how much of it is real and basically gives his take on it. And it's really cool. But I like him a lot because he is approaching like surrealism in a way that's not like your typical experimental film. Like his movies don't seem weird on the surface, but there's just something so slightly off about everything that happens in them. And for me, like when I watched Mulholland Drive and Eraserhead, that was something I appreciated, and I was like, that's cool, that's a good movie. But it never like hit with me. Okay. But when I watched this, I was like, I am completely here. Everything worked.
That makes sense.
And I understood just why people love it.
Yeah, it's like you're finding it as a type of surrealism that you can actually kind of be more easily engaged by and like be kind of encompassed by, because it's not so alien like a lot of experimental films where you still feel like you're in it, but it's like a world that's slightly off.
Yeah. Like David Lynch has, and he said this in a lot of interviews, is that his whole thing is putting the light with like darkness, like putting them together. And that's why his movies work so well, is because they're not just all dark. They're not just like, this is weird. They're like, it's only weird because of the fact that it exists in an otherwise like really traditional movie and story. Like his movies feel kind of Hollywood when you think about it. They feel like movies. They don't feel like experimental films unless we're talking about like shorts. And I think that's what a lot of people appreciate about them, is that they're so just unique in that way without trying to be. And they're just at the same time so fun. I think, and this may be an unpopular opinion. I keep getting a bunch of text messages. I don't know if you can hear it.
This is like a lot of kind of flex right there.
Yeah. just a little bit of
yeah, it'd be like, my phone is just blowing up.
People already know what I have to say in the podcast.
Wow, is Roger Deakins calling me again?
I don't know how I stop it.
He wants to shoot Keychain 2?
What? David Lynch just said my name I think he's listening to the podcast. What was I saying?
He Zoom bombs us.
Hello. I'm like, whoa, David. Yeah, I lost where I was, but I just think that, I forgot what I was saying, but
yeah, that was probably my fault.
that was the text messages fault. They keep going off. I don't know how to mute them, but yeah, I think when you're in it and you're entertained by him. Oh, that's what I was saying. He's like, for as pretentious as he may come across on the surface, he's really not. He's just like, I think his films are so fun and don't take themselves seriously a lot of the time. And that's what makes them so enjoyable, I guess, is how much they're accomplishing at the same time for me. And that's just one reason.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would call this film fun, Blue Velvet.
No. I mean, I think
there's
it's more
like a
fun
lot of
than
like
his
gratuitous
others.
sexual violence.
That is a part of it.
Okay,
yeah.
that's one part of this film. That's the like. I don't feel like for the story it really needed to be. There needed as much of that as there was.
Yeah, what are
Like
you
the
referring
actual
to specifically?
fundamental. I just mean like a lot of the kind of like scene, where he's
Car,
like kind of like. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like the car, and then also like in the apartment when Jeffrey's in the closet.
Oh yeah. I
I
think
just like it doesn't feel like that accomplished that much for the fundamental plot.
no, especially because, well, yeah, I wouldn't say it enhances the plot much, but it enhances the tone of the film.
It
makes everything
enhances the
just,
tone and the stakes for sure.
It makes things a lot weirder, and I think it's a lot of this is like bringing this guy, blanking on his Jeffrey, not Frank, but
Jeffrey.
Like it's such a other side of the world that he's so unfamiliar with.
Yeah.
I think it is trying to come off as extreme as it can.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
But that's this is one of those movies where it's kind of like how you describe Ishtar. It's like there are tons of things that you could argue are wrong about it, but I would argue so much of it is intentional and makes the film what it is, despite how flawed it may be.
Yeah.
But I will admit it is a little self-indulgent.
Yeah, and I don't think that David Lynch didn't take these things into consideration when making it, and I understand your argument where that is like it is there to show like how seeing that affects Jeffrey in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
It's again, I keep saying
I know. I could tell by the way you said it that.
I know it's weird, especially because I'm so much like him.
You're just like him, yeah. This happened to you last week.
Yeah, I will say that with Frank, who is one of the worst characters I think I've ever seen in a film.
Awful.
Which he's very one-dimensional.
Yeah.
Just like bad in every way and like a lunatic. But he has one very good point in this film.
What is it? I'm curious to what you're saying.
He is correct that Heineken sucks and PBR is a better beer than Heineken.
I will agree. I agree.
Heineken's terrible.
Heineken's terrible. And honestly, having tried more beers, I don't think PBR is all that great. But
no, PBR is great for a cheap beer, right? Because it doesn't taste like that much.
It does exactly what it needs to do.
Yeah, it's very cheap.
Price, yeah.
And you are drinking beer.
Yeah. Well, now, what do you think of Hams, Jeff?
Hams is on the same level as PBR and Old Style. They're all three grouped together where they're like good, cheap beer. For cheap beer, they're good.
Okay.
Inoffensive.
Yeah. My roommate Maddie put me onto Hams because she loves it. And I agree.
Yeah.
I think Hams is really good.
Hams is good.
It's not like
if given the
but
choice, I would prefer Old Style or Hams over PBR.
Absolutely.
Plus, it's just cooler. They feel more like local and specific.
Yeah. PBR was the
they're,
first
like, Midwestern.
beer I ever had. And I think that was the wrong first beer to ever have. It was really...
No, I had the wrong first beer to ever have.
Was it Heineken?
No, it was Carlsberg.
Oh.
That's like the darkest garbage tasting beer you
really
can imagine.
Bad. You know what I think we can
that'd be a young parent tip. If you want your kid to not drink alcohol,
give them that.
Give them a Carlsberg.
Just give them a sip. See what they do.
They're like, beer is disgusting.
That's kind of what my parents did with me with coffee. They gave me like an espresso shot as my first. And I was like, Jesus.
That seems like you are asking for trouble giving a child who is already full of energy that.
It was like,
and then you broke all of the glass in the house.
You burned down the barn.
You were riding a goat. You threw a saddle on the goat and just went to
started
town.
riding it.
Did you ever ride a goat?
I'm surprised. Now that you brought it up, I'm surprised I didn't try. I think I brought this up before. I was just an asshole. I banged on garbage pans. Garbage lids, whatever they're, and I just like followed it around and made noise and like taunted it. But
garbage pan insinuates that you are like making something with
like
the garbage. You're like mixing it together.
Like, yeah.
Like if I blend these
curry in the
used
garbage can.
plastics.
Yeah. That's enough beer talk for now.
You should have like a theme song for that. Beer talk.
Beer talk.
And then we do it every
It's just the same
every
beat as
episode
the
of the
intro.
segment.
But yeah. We should just get David Lynch to say beer talk. Anyways.
So I have a couple other points to make about this film, or we can get back into like your more serious discussion.
No, you go ahead. I want to hear what
I'll
you
go
have
with
to...
the lighter points. So I watched this film today, of course.
Yep.
And I was trying to accomplish two things at once. I sat down to eat while I started this film.
Yeah, okay.
This is a terrible film to watch. Like the beginning of this film is the worst film to watch when you start eating, because in the first like 8 minutes of the film, there's a bunch of roaches in the ground, and then also there's a severed ear that they show in about 30 different shots.
Disgusting
and, like, close-ups.
Yeah.
So that's a note for someone listening to this podcast who is going to watch this film who is not yet. Do not eat while watching the beginning of this film.
No, especially like, well,
what if that was our podcast? We just told people whether or not it was safe to eat while watching the film. Should I eat?
No.
Like, nope.
I'd like to
big
share
no.
this thing that, well, if it loads, my internet's, now that I can share my screen on Zoom, I'll go, right there. Share.
Ooh.
That's
so is that an ear?
This is Laura Dern, who's in the movie, posted this saying, "I found the ear," and it's a piece of pancake.
Oh, that's good. Okay,
Yeah.
that's funny.
It made me laugh. I was like, "Oh, Blue Velvet ref." Yeah, no, I agree. But I was gonna get into I'll get into that later. I'll end the talk with the theory.
I still have two more.
Yeah, go ahead.
Lighthearted
Go
points
ahead.
about this.
Yeah.
So the first one, what was the deal with the chicken walk?
I couldn't tell you.
Like, do you think that was written into the script, or he just decided I'm gonna ad lib a chicken walk because that's flirting?
No, knowing him, it was probably written in the script.
Now that there's video of this, do you think you could do the chicken walk?
No, I'm not going to do the chicken walk. You know this, Jeff. The lines I draw are at rapping, which you've tried to get me do, I think, twice now, and the chicken walk. Which, by the way, never mind. I'm going to hold back on that point.
Yeah.
What's your last point?
Okay, my last point. So I watched the credits, like just the first few like slides of it, and there was Sparky was the name of the dog in the beginning. It was like biting at the hose water.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Sparky, actually, I looked up Sparky, and Sparky I saw has at least 2 other film credits. So Sparky was in Frankenweenie from 1984, and then also Terminator 2.
Wow.
So Sparky has some range.
Yeah, that Sparky's been around in the industry. Is
Yeah,
Sparky
and
still
Sparky
alive?
is a great dog name.
Yeah.
No, Sparky. Okay, did you say Sparky's still alive? I just told you. First of all, this film's from 1986.
But
I told you that Sparky was in a movie in 1984.
Yeah.
So think about that. For the dog to have been in a movie, you'd have to be like, what, 1 year old in 1984. It was probably shot in 83, but even just to give you the benefit of the doubt, we'll say this dog was born on this date in 1983. This dog would have to be 37 years old.
hey, man, you never know. You truly never know. We're just gonna move right past that one.
So rest in peace, Sparky. Great performance.
Great performance all around. Okay, I was gonna ask you how you felt about the acting. That's a big part of this film. That people...
That's a very, that's like what I know about David Lynch in terms of what I think about is the performances of just how people like interpersonal communication. It's all slightly off, which for me is weird and like kind of, I don't know, that's which I know is part of the goal.
Yeah.
Just I feel like I don't interpret it the same way you do, where for you it's like off in a way where it's only off a little bit, so it's bringing the kind of surrealism to a place where it's almost normal, where for me it's bringing the normal
into a
slightly off.
Yeah. I agree. I think if there's one part about this film that doesn't work all the time for me, it's the way they talk. Because
it's because it's so close to being a normal film, and this is a plot that is not that weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it feels like, and especially because it's like I'm used to watching like gritty films where generally the dialogue is very casual,
right?
And like it's just kind of like easygoing because it's just like normal people having like these conversations for like this type of thing. But for this, it's like such a weird, removed and like cold way of speaking.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. The way it sets you up, it's like I didn't notice it first. And I'm just like, this makes sense in this context. But as soon as you notice that like Laura Dern isn't speaking above like 12 decibels for negative 12 decibels, that'd be a different movie. Everyone was shouting, but yeah,
it's just all clipping.
As soon as you notice she's like whispering every line, it's like it gets kind of distracting. And also whatever.
Yeah, sorry, I was gonna say for me, it was just the first conversation that Jeffrey had with Laura Dern's dad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Where immediately the dad just felt guilty because he was like so casual about the ear. Mm-hmm. I'm just like, what is happening? Like, is this town just finding ears every day? Like, why doesn't he care about this ear?
Yeah. But
I thought he must be in on it.
Yeah. That's the whole point.
Which is like part of the point, but why is that the point?
I know. Well, I think another thing he like loves to this movie really is like the closest thing to like a depiction of a dream or a nightmare, depending on how you want to look at it, as I've seen in like film. Like just in the way nothing like stuff like that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and it's like kind of it does feel like a dream. That's a good point.
It's weird choices that really on it we could never know. They may have no significance on the plot. They're not meant to be analyzed. They're just there to make it feel just off like that. And yeah, so that's the thing. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. And that's why in his other works, like Eraserhead, for example, I'm just like, sometimes I'm not on board with it. I think it's kind of stupid, but I know a lot of people love it and I love this one. So who am I to judge? But yeah, what else was
once you release Keychain though, then you're someone to judge because then you are a film director with a released work.
Yeah, that's why I'm hesitant to put it out. What was okay, I wanted to bring up the thing I had, and I don't consider this a spoiler. It's not that crucial to the plot, but it happens at the end of the movie.
How have we talked this much and not really said any spoilers?
No, we really haven't. And that's the beauty of this podcast.
The beauty is that we are so surface level that we won't even spoil the film, not even on purpose.
Not even on purpose.
Accidentally, we don't talk about it in depth enough to spoil it.
In the end, there's this shot, and this is why I wanted to bring up the roaches and beetles and stuff from the beginning. And I don't want to take credit for this theory. I do because I figured it out myself, but I looked into it online to check if anyone else, and a lot of people read it the same way. But in the end, there's a robin. This is one of the last shots of the film, and the robin has a bug in its mouth. It's like eating a beetle. Right. And it's such a weird choice. And I look at the beetle because it's like we see the fences and all the beauty in the beginning, and below all of that is this like darkness with all these bugs and gross, all this gross underworld stuff. And that is kind of the equivalent to all the bugs, what I'm talking about. All of that is the equivalent to like Frank Booth and this like underground sex, awful criminals stuff. And in the end, it's like Kyle MacLachlan, Jeffrey, he's the Robin, and he's accomplished it. He's kind of taken over that side of society that is otherwise like kind of goes underdiscovered or unacknowledged. And that's why the grandma or the mom, I forget if she's a grandma or mom, but the old lady, when they're with her, she's like, I would never eat a bug. It's because she would never, I don't know, she separates herself from that side of society.
Right. Yeah,
so
she would
much.
Never kind of dive into that world.
I think it's like kind of a happy ending because it's like he's avenged it. But it's also bittersweet because as it established in the beginning, that is just one of many beetles.
Yeah. You know what is interesting is that most films, when you start like trying to analyze it and have like a theory like that, it's very metaphorical and hard to like quantify how much the director means it. But this one feels, now that I have thought about it and you've said this, that's almost 100% very obviously intentional.
Right.
It's pretty on the nose, but in a way where it's like just far enough removed where you have to think about it for a few minutes to like be like, oh yeah. So it's kind of like a nice way of throwing it in there, because that 100% is fully intentional.
Yeah. And that's what I love about his stuff, is because it's like, especially about this one, because it's not as overwhelming as something like Mulholland Drive, where there's stuff like that in every interaction, and it would take so long to figure it out. It's like he places so many things in there to analyze, and he'll never explain them, and it's just fun to me.
Do you think there's any significance to the Robin looking fake as shit?
Absolutely.
Looks like a Disney World animatron. Like,
dude, that's the thing. It's like the special effects and the stuff like, not a lot of people are going to put money into his ideas, sadly. So a lot of the stuff looks really bad. I mean, I don't know if you saw his new short film, What Did Jack Do? But it looks like ass.
I saw some clips where they just like paste a mouth on
it looks
monkey.
Awful. But that's what. Yeah, I love it.
I feel like I should just just splice in one of those drinking birds to that scene instead, or just like the same dialogue. They just cut to the bird and it's just like.
These are times where we're really glad we have video, because that joke would not land.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just silence.
Just silence, yeah.
Which maybe was a nice reprieve for people listening.
It's your intermission. Cool. Well, that's, I think, for now, all I have to say about it. Again, it's like the thing about his movie, it's like I still don't understand all of it, but that does not hold it back from being a perfect movie for me. I think it's... So
you're going 5 stars, I feel
I'm going 5 stars. It's one of those, it's like, sometimes when you know, and I really, watching it, especially a second time, I'm like, none of this is old. Like, I have such a, and again, this is why it's weird to call this movie fun, because of all the weird stuff that happens, but there's enough in there to make it just some of the lines are so funny to me. Like the Pabst Blue Ribbon line. It's so funny. And I'm going to go 5.
Yeah, I mean, I don't love it.
Understandable.
But, I mean, like, I get it. It's just not...
It's not your...
I don't know, that surrealism, thing. I just don't... That's not an experience that I look out for and, like, try to have.
Yeah, understandable.
So I feel like for me, it's more of like a 3.5.
Okay. I'll say, that's the beautiful thing about the Karstcast, is we have one different opinion every 10 episodes. And this is that one.
I mean, I really wish that there were more scenes of Jeffrey working in the hardware store.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was like a cool looking hardware store. I wanted to see it.
I want to be I take it back.
What if Frank had to go to the hardware store to buy like a knife?
Oh, and maybe it could have been like a foreshadow thing. Like,
yeah.
And he's like, wait, you're the guy from the hardware store. That would, yeah.
I mean, that would have been probably worse.
Yeah,
but I just wanted to see the hardware store. I don't know how he could have incorporated it. I just wanted, even if the film had to be 10 minutes longer, if those 10 minutes were in the hardware store,
hey,
I'm in.
You're in, yeah. That'd bump it up to a 4.
I'm just a big fan of hardware.
Hardware stores, can I just say, smell really good.
Like wood?
Yeah, well, every time I go into an Ace hardware store, is Ace like nationwide?
Yeah, Ace is a hardware store in the US.
I just didn't know if it was a Minnesota exclusive. I love the way they smell. It's like, it smells like new shit,
No.
And when I say shit,
are you sure that it's Ace Hardware, or do you think it's just like the employees or one employee at that specific Ace Hardware?
Just has really good cologne.
Yeah,
like Axe body
love the
spray.
smell. I just love the smell of Gerald at my local Ace Hardware. Smells great.
I wonder how many Geralds out there work at like, if you're named Gerald, you're supposed to work in an Ace Hardware store, I feel like. Anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 3.5, 5. That was the talk. I'm gonna play the Q&A transition theme. I think we change it every time, but I'm gonna play that while I go get a snack that's right behind me. But I need to get up for a second because I'm having the shakes again.
Because I'm having the shakes again. That sounds like he's gonna dance.
We're back.
I didn't hear the song.
Oh, you didn't?
No, it might have happened. Like I heard it for like a split second, then it cut out. So I don't know if it was.
Well, let me just.
It might have been playing through your speakers instead of your headphones, and then
it caught it in the. Well,
Yeah, okay,
we'll see how it turns out. Right now, I'm eating some dots.
I don't know. The thing is, since you walked away, you would have been perfectly framed in this video to do the chicken walk. And then when you said I'm having the shakes, it made it sound like that would have been like you means you wanted to dance. Like I'm having the shakes.
Having the shakes. No, I'm having the coffee.
And then you do the chicken walk.
This happened at the end of, I think, our Fight Club episode where I got really shaky from the coffee. And today it's happening midway through, so.
Yeah. You just
need some food.
Yeah. With the video, we could do fun things like have something from the movie influence what you do in the video, and then we change it every episode. So like this one, you do the chicken walk. The Fight Club episode, you could just get your sister to beat the crap out of you.
I start beating myself up. We have some cool questions today. One that is kind of topical to what we were talking about earlier. I don't know if I know you don't read
Which
the
doesn't
questions.
narrow it down.
No. And we'll start with that one after I finish this pretzel. This one comes from Paris. It is, I named my cat Fresno Fair Zucchini Corn Dog, Zuki for short, because I think cats should have ridiculous names. Understandable. What are you guys' thoughts on pet names? I do have thoughts on pet names, but what were you going to say? I mean, you really liked Sparky.
I don't know. I kind of like the classic, like, because I've never had cats, right? So I always had dogs growing up, and I don't know, dogs ending in Y is just like how I grew up. You know, all of our dogs had, and even we had like a couple other animals. They all had names ending in Y. I'm not married to their names ending in Y. Like I could be
like a Spot.
Dissuaded.
Spot is
I mean, I don't like Spot.
No.
I think they either need to be like human names, and it's funny because it's a pet with a human name, or they need to be like a weird specific pet name that ends in a Y. Okay. So like I think it would be fun to have a dog named like Nathan.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna.
Yeah. That's just kind of funny to me, having a dog it sounds like it could be a roommate.
Hey, Nathan. We're kind of there. Is Otis a human name?
Otis is a human name from like the 40s, I think.
Because my dog's name is Otis, and I really like that name. The other one was Sweeney. I like that one. I like our dog names. We named our most recent dog Sally, and I hate that name. We were going to name her Mango, and I thought Mango was awesome. I was like, Mango is sick.
Is better, yeah.
And then my mom's like, we're calling her Sally because she moves like a salamander. And I'm like, that's stupid. So
honestly, I like salamander better
more
than
Sally. Yeah.
I just don't like the name Sally.
It's so barnyard dog. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I am with you in the fact that I love human names for, like, I cannot wait to have a cat named Chris or something. Just be like, Chris
Christopherson.
Yeah. Or Jeffrey the cat.
Yeah.
I love that idea. But I'm so far away from having a pet. Wait, like, do you see yourself getting pets soon? Are you at that point?
Soon.
Okay.
No, only because I want to, whenever it's possible again, I want to travel more.
Can't do
like
that.
long-term travel.
Yeah.
And you can't do that with a pet. I mean, you can, but it's like way more difficult, and I don't want to have to be like, hey, Mom.
Yeah.
Here's a dog. Now it's yours for 4 months.
Yeah. I just choked on a pretzel.
What? Oh, you good? What? That would have been really... I don't know what I would have done because I don't have like your family's contact info, so I would have just been like, there's someone in Minnesota
in the middle of nowhere, as we established at the beginning of the podcast.
That would have been a really bad video recording.
Yeah.
To have.
Fall over. And you're just like, I'm good now.
I don't know what I would have done, honestly.
No. I mean, you could have contacted Jaxie, who does... Well,
that's what I would have done.
Yeah.
I would have done that, because I'm like, she probably has contact info.
We should have a plan, just in case.
Just in case.
I need to give you my emergency contact
a couple
info.
hours a week video chatting, so we should have, like, emergency contact plans.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what I'd do for you. I would contact Jaxie. Jaxie would come over to your place.
Yeah. She wouldn't come... She would probably just... Contact
your
one like one of my roommates that she knows.
Yeah. Okay.
And then they would I
Figure.
think that would work. Okay, so I think that we've established that I would probably live and you would for sure be dead.
I'd be dead, yeah.
My chain of like contacting would be a lot slower.
Yeah. Sorry, I was taking off the hoodie. It got a little hot. I just got a bunch of body issues going on right now. Yeah. Anyways, that's pet names. Let's move on to the next question. This one comes from Kiki521. It is, what is the best streaming service and why? What is the best? I've been thinking about this a lot because I've been using a lot of them.
Yeah.
But I've recently got really into Hulu. I think Hulu has a lot of great options.
Yeah, Hulu's good. I mean, Netflix, obviously, everyone knows Netflix, solid. I don't have Disney Plus, and I don't plan on getting it.
It's not that great. As soon as you bust through like the nostalgic stuff that you wanted to get through, then you're like, why do I have this? Unless you were really into The Mandalorian. But it's like, how many people are still using that thing consistently?
In terms of like original programming, I'm definitely more into Netflix. Because Hulu's great just because like their catalog is really good. Like I've been rewatching It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And then so that they have Futurama.
Yeah, I think it really depends on what you're looking for.
Yeah.
I mean, if I want to watch, I think Netflix lacks in like classic movies and even like critically acclaimed stuff from recent years. I think they're all really lacking. But Criterion Channel obviously has a lot of great classics, and Amazon Prime is killing it with the indies. So, but also
Amazon Prime is pretty solid.
Hulu is good because it's that place to go. They have a lot of recent stuff that went under everyone's radars. Yeah. Like, that's the place to go if you had a movie from last year that you didn't catch in theaters. They probably have it.
Also, Portrait of a Lady on Fire and Parasite now.
They are...
Which I watched Parasite last night, finally.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
What'd you think of it?
Oh, I mean, it's great.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's so good. I need to convince... My sister still hasn't seen it, so I'm trying to find a night where we can watch it as a family.
It's so good.
Oh, speaking of, I showed Uncut Gems to my family last weekend. Yeah. Did not go over as well as I wanted it to.
That one does not seem like a great family watch.
No, well, I really wanted my mom...
I mean, it could be depending on their mindset, but I wouldn't put a lot of confidence in that being something that everyone would love.
I really just... it's a movie I really wanted them to see because it's like so different, and I think it's so ahead of the game. I was like, I want them to experience this movie, and especially my mom because she likes movies a lot. But we realized like 10 minutes in, where it was just no one could understand a single word anyone was saying, that this was an awful family movie. But they liked it.
Did the rest of your family, because you said your sister hasn't seen Parasite, but did your parents?
Mm-hmm. They liked Parasite a lot.
Okay.
My dad loved it. My mom liked it. I think she liked other movies more.
I actually saw Uncut Gems with my dad in a theater.
Oh, yeah?
And there's no way I would ever recommend my mom see that movie. Like, I don't think you'll like this.
Did your dad like it?
My dad kind of liked it, but he didn't love it. I think when we talked, because we talked about it for an episode, and I think I briefly mentioned that. Yeah. But I think my dad, the whole time, right after the first scene, it was like a colonoscopy, and my dad is a gastroenterologist who does colonoscopies, and their technique was like so wrong that it like took him out of the film.
I remember as soon as...
he just was waiting the whole film to like finish just so he could tell me how wrong their colonoscopy technique was.
He leans over and whispers. I wish he did that.
What if that was a bit where we just found every colonoscopy in a film and then like I had him rate their technique?
Yeah. Well, yeah, my sister hated it, but that's that's fine. She was just like, this movie's stupid. My dad isn't, the whole point of that movie is that it stresses you out and it just keeps getting worse. Yeah. And like throughout the movie, my dad would just look over to us and be like, why are we still watching this? And I was like, oh shit, this is a bad idea. But my mom was like, it's a movie, it's not real. And yeah. I'm definitely not going to show them Portrait of a Lady. I don't think that would go over well at all.
I don't know. That one might though, because that's more of like,
it is a lot. Yeah.
It's a pretty classically made film.
Mm-hmm. It's just
in that
a very slow film. It's a very slow movie.
Yeah, I think that definitely Portrait of a Lady on Fire is something that is improved a lot by seeing on a huge screen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because it's such a pretty film, but like I don't know if it would be that pretty condensed onto like a TV.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm sure it still would be, but I mean it wouldn't be like as like awe-inspiring of like visuals.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the scoop with that. But Parasite.
So that's answers that question.
That's the best streaming service. Well, okay, I was going to talk about. Have you seen Tiger King yet?
Oh yeah.
Did we talk about it already?
I don't think so.
I'm very surprised because you're from Florida. How have we not talked about it? What do you think of it? Just briefly.
So I think my mom told me that when I was really young, I might have gone to the like thing in Florida because that wasn't just in Florida. That was in Tampa, which is where I'm from in Florida.
Right.
But it was all over like their local news. So like when I was watching it, I was like remembered some of the anchors on like the footage they would show.
So you've known about Joe Exotic?
No, because he was not from Florida. It was Carol Baskin's the one in Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that when I was, there was some like of the court case like for the attempted murder and stuff. There's footage of that being talked about in like my local news. And then there was an anchor named Reginald Roundtree that I remembered because one time I saw him, I think at a hockey game, and my brother and I thought it was funny to yell Reggie to him, and then he turned and waved at us.
Wow, that's cool. Well, yeah.
Reginald Roundtree. His last name is Roundtree.
So many issues with that right off the bat. I don't know how. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, I wanted to keep that one brief. We could go on about it. Maybe we'll talk about it more later. But
yeah, I mean, it's definitely worth watching for anyone on the fence.
Definitely entertaining.
I have not seen like the update episode with Joel McHale because that seems kind of dumb.
Yeah, I left it as it is. This last one comes from. Is this the one? Yeah. Wait, hold on. Yeah, that's the one. This last one comes from 10_billion1. Says, lots of films have memorable end scenes. However, I've noticed there aren't that many memorable opening scenes to films. What films are engaging from the start and keep you watching through the end? My answer would be Stand By Me and Waltz with Bashir.
This is another one of those that are like more of thinkers.
See, this is why I texted you this in advance.
And I did not read it until now.
Of course. And that's okay. But I have my answer to give you some time to think. My first one that came to mind was Swiss Army Man. I think that it's like that's the only opening scene where like after it finished, I was like, that is an amazing opening scene. Like there are plenty of great opening scenes, but I was like, that on its own is a fantastic way of opening the film.
Yeah. I mean, what I usually love, I love opening scenes that are like tracking shots.
Mm-hmm. Like,
oh, you wanted me to give an example? I thought you were gonna do my job for me.
I was saying like,
you know what?
Like
I'm not
Boogie
sure
Nights?
I can come up with was that a tracking shot?
Well, it's a one shot.
Yeah.
Is that the same?
You know what? I'm gonna sit out this.
Okay.
This
all right.
question.
I was starting to fall apart.
You know what else I just remembered is that was it we said we were going to answer a question from like a patron thing on the normal one because it was a really good question and I forget what that was.
Oh my God, we were. God damn it. Oh, I forgot. Wait, actually, I can just open up Patreon. While I do this. Okay, what were you going to say?
Oh, that was nothing. That was something I just remembered that kind of saved me from answering this question.
Okay, all right. I want to just bring up the opening scene in Election is really good. I just watched Election for the first time.
Is that the
Reese Witherspoon, Matthew Broderick?
Yeah.
So funny. That is
that's a good movie.
Such a good movie. Probably one of my favorite comedies is what I've just decided.
Ever.
It's so funny. I mean, it kind of falls apart in the second half, but there is like a solid 20 minutes in the first half that are like back to back, just hilarious. And just like all the actors do a great job. Which one were we gonna? Can you create a pop? I don't think we had. I can't find any. I think
because they're totally. You remember? I'm not crazy. This happened.
Was this in a thread or was this? What type of toy would you want to be in the toy universe? We already answered that one. Favorite place you've traveled to so far? Did you answer that one?
That I think I would have answered.
I
that
also
one.
Okay. You know what? Let's just move on. What if we did that? What if we did that?
We're gonna discover what that was at some point.
Yeah, we're hitting an hour and 12 right now.
Yeah.
But
so we got to get into because we also doubled the week for meme of the week, so we didn't do one last week.
We don't need to double it. Come on now. We're not going.
Well, I mean, we got to
meme.
make sure that we're not missing any from.
No,
I don't mean like double the length of the segment. I just mean we got to look at the last 2 weeks of memes.
Yeah. So let's go. Let's head into meme of the week here. What'll be the transition for that? Meme of the week. I just want to give maybe a thank you. A shout out to, I think the username was like XXX Goomba or something. Let me try and find it. Yeah. Well, no, not Goomba. It's XXX G Nobama, who sent in a copious amount of ostrich memes. Started a clash with my other Reddit. Caused a whole ruckus in general. So glad someone got something out of the ostrich mention. But there are some good ones this week that aren't those. One of them is, and I want to give a shout out to user Karsten Runquist, who made the meme when you realize that the Reddit username Karsten Runquist hasn't been taken yet, and it's a picture of Tim Heidecker saying it's free real estate. That's a really good meme. And yeah. Good on you for getting that one. Meme of the week, though? I don't know.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. I am now like just discovering because it's been like a week and a half since I went on this.
Yeah,
and I'm now discovering that there really was like a war.
Yeah, there was a whole thing. Also, Jeff, I don't know.
And then there's a meme about us not doing anything.
Yeah. Well, because I don't know what to do.
In the Karst clash.
There's someone.
I don't know what to do, and I'm looking at it now.
Someone found an old video of you singing karaoke, which I don't know how they found that, but
yeah. Oh, someone did find that. Yeah, my brother. That's my brother's YouTube. Yeah, this was a long time ago. Mm-hmm. Oh my god!
I did the bald face filter with a beard. And someone said Jeff's face reveal, so that's pretty good. I should just use share screen right now, but it's too late. So, okay, you know what? I've decided on my meme of the week. I'm just going to go through some more just to make sure. Yeah, there really is.
Also, why are there still face reveals for me? Like, I don't.
Your face is in
wants
memes.
To know what I look like. It's in memes.
Yeah.
It's not hard to see what I look like.
Yeah. I want to give a thank you to Matt Zo Mealworm, who said who made basically a Photoshop thing of me on an ostrich head and put it on their fridge that's cool. So shout out to you for that. Yeah, I think that's as far as I'll go for now. There are a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot. I think my plan is I'm just going to go into this and just reply in the Reddit, because this is the ostrich thing is really throwing.
Right,
like,
there's a lot of them.
Possibly absorb all of this.
Yeah, there's more Jeff fan art. There's a lot. So we need like an intern to parse our own Reddit. So my meme of the week is gonna go to L_memento_de_bruh. It is the Redditors getting their names read by Carson and Jeff without having to pledge to the Patreon. And it's a meme of Syndrome going, and when everyone's super, no one will be. And I just thought that was funny.
Yeah. Wait, is that happening?
Well, we say their names whenever we talk about meme of the week or go through meme of the week. So, or when we answer a question, so they get their names read one way or another without having to pledge. But
yeah. But
it's never about that, It's about the support. It's
about the support. It's not about the names being read. Like,
you guys
think
are,
about
for
this.
the record.
If you pledged money and then we didn't say your names, that'd be kind of messed up.
That'd be an issue. Yeah. Plus, you guys have you non-patron, you have no idea what's going on in the Patreon.
Oh, you don't know. We have
parties every night that you're not invited to
all the time,
but you could be.
But
we'll get there in a second.
I give out my personal phone number to every patron.
Yeah. Okay.
Just to be clear,
he doesn't.
That's not
true.
No
one pledge on Patreon just for Jeff's number.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm just a mantis on Spotify. Yeah,
that's true. It's been there for years. I like once a year I get an email where it's like, yeah, you're gonna pay again for this to be on Spotify another year, and I'm like, I sure am. It's actually very affordable. It's like $10 a year. I'm
gonna play this real quick audio meme that someone left 2 days ago. It's from asker 10_billion1, and it is it's just this. It's pretty self-explanatory. I'll play it. Okay. Well, it's not playing. It's coming from my AirPods. 1 second, technical difficulty. Here it is.
Yeah, which probably won't be edited out of the
podcast. Absolutely not. None of this is getting edited out.
Bad Leroy, Fluffy Jr., Fluffy Senior, Jeff.
So, I'm from Florida. I grew up.
So for anyone confused, I didn't show you the video. It's a bunch of cats getting in a van, and he's introducing the cats, and he says Jeff, and then you introduce yourself.
Not for this time, but for the future. Mm-hmm. You could actually screen share this.
I could, exactly. That's what I was thinking as this started, but then it was too late.
Yeah, but we're gonna have to see if the video thing we keep doing this.
Yeah. Well, I've been recording this is gonna be a big file.
Wait, no, their codec's not bad. It won't be that big.
Okay, that's reassuring. That was meme of the week, at least for me. I don't know if you had a meme of the week, Jeff.
Yeah, I liked that there was more fan art that I didn't see of me. And I mean, this one, at least I don't look like terrifying. I just look like I'm gonna like bomb somewhere. Like I'm just gonna straight up like bomb like a hospital.
Yeah, it's not.
I have these giant opaque glasses.
Yeah, that one is weird, but it's kind of cool.
It's weird. Yeah, but it's kind of like I look kind of cool, but like also like I'm
you
gonna
look
break
like
some laws.
A member of Gorillaz that got, didn't make the cut.
Yeah. Yep. Now there was the clip of you on Podcast but outside.
Yeah, which is it's cool that I was on there, but then someone commented that was cringe, and I was like, you know what? It was kind of. As soon as I walked by, and I was like, hey Cole, I know Jaxie. Like, why would I say I know Jaxie? And I've had way more people hit me up about it than I expected. I was like, the Venn diagram isn't that big for this, and apparently a lot of my fans listen to Podcast but outside, including Joe Cronin, our friend, who texts me and he's like, bro, is that you? And I'm like, yes. So am I embarrassed about it? Yeah. Am I kind of cool? Yeah. I don't know.
It's both. It's all things.
Yeah.
But what would you say if you could go back in time and have another shot at that?
I would just say hi Cole.
That's I think good.
And
That's
because
good
it's
enough.
like it's kind of vague. They're like, how does he know Cole? Because I did actually come up to him for some more context. I did come up to him after they were done recording. I had an extra slice of pizza. I was like, hey, you want this pizza? And he was like, yeah. And then we talked a little bit about someone who might be on our podcast soon. Up in the air.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm talking. Yeah. But yeah, and he was like, I'll give it a listen.
You're talking, of course, about the Numa guy, Gary Brolsma.
Of course.
Now, have you contacted Gary Brolsma?
I haven't
his
yet.
agent?
I haven't. Honestly, I'm lacking, and we're not going to have this conversation right now. I haven't contacted any of the guests we are going to reach out to, but I'm going to do that now because today is podcast day.
Fair.
So I'm doing all my work today.
You know what? I'm going to do that as well because I also didn't contact any. Yeah, I have at least one. I probably could think of a couple others.
Right. We should move on. We should.
What if I'm like, okay, I just ask my roommates. I'm like, hey.
You do it during the podcast?
Hey, you want to be on the podcast?
We have some cool reviews, or we have one cool review this week.
Nice. I feel better about the fact that this is like the longest podcast ever because no one else is doing anything.
No, I don't.
We're just
I
hanging.
like long podcasts. I get sad when my favorite podcasts are over. So we're giving you guys
so
the
probably
content.
no one gets sad about this
Plus,
one.
we're recording another Patreon episode after this, so we're just beginning.
Oh, yeah.
I guess.
Okay, I drank coffee. I'm good to go.
Yeah. Well, clearly that was a bad thing for me to do, but I'm feeling better now. This
All
review
right, let's wrap this one up.
comes from C.L. Cairns. I don't know how to pronounce that, but it's from the United States. 5 stars, subject line nice, and it reads, I'm convinced this is the reason the suburban white moms in my neighborhood think I'm crazy. I always listen to the Karstcast on my dog walks, and people stare as I laugh semi-hysterically at seemingly nothing. So thanks for that. P.S. I mentioned the podcast in my application to Columbia University. I didn't get in, but I don't blame y'all. Hey, we appreciate the mention nonetheless. I also did not get into Columbia University.
I don't remember if I applied, but I did not get in to Duke.
Oh, man.
or UNC Chapel Hill.
Oh, but you got into DePaul. So.
Yeah.
And
well, that was
your
for grad school. Yeah.
Well, thank you. We appreciate it. And lastly, we'd like to thank our patrons, our lovely patrons. Just pulling this up. I had to click it away to get that one post. I can hear a siren in the background.
What if all of them? Yeah. But what if all of the patrons 1 month just like stop being patrons, and you're like, thanks to our patrons, and you're like,
oh,
Mary Lee Borslow.
Even T Sizzle, really? So thank you. If you'd like to become a patron, go to patreon.com/Karstcast, where you can get exclusive access to bonus episodes, Q&As, shout-outs at the end of every episode, Google Hangouts, and much more, like parties every night and Jeff's personal phone number. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Thank you, Alex.
It's 1. That's the number of phones I have.
Yeah. Thank you, Alex Davis. That was such a dumb joke. Your personal phone number, not your business phone number. That's 2. It's you 2. Thank you, Alex Davis, Allison Grace, Boat, Connor Holmes, Dr. Aneurysm, Eden, Ethan Kell, Hannah E, Holly Edwards, Iva, Joshua Quizricki. I'm going to re-say that. Joshua Chriswicki, Josie Eiler, June Australian Winter, Martin Deff, Mary Lee Borslow, Moses Ox, my meme, better be on meme of the week, goddammit. Olivia Robinson, Philip Hagelberg, Ready Steady Ernie, Robert Burke, Sergio Palacios, Sophia Arieta, T Sizzle, Vegard Strom, and Vera S. Vegard Strom has been dethroned of the last spot.
Which for us, honestly, is like a good thing.
Yeah.
Because that means there's someone else there.
Yeah.
Although it was like a nice capper, but so yeah, the new one, we'll say it again because it's new.
Vera S. Thank you.
Or is it, how's it spelled?
VERAS.
So it might be Vera.
Vera. Okay. Yeah.
The jury's out on that one, but we want to say it both ways just in case.
Thank you guys. We really appreciate it. I have one more thing to say. By the time this comes out, it will be Monday, and Monday is the last day you have to buy some of my merch, where all of the earnings will be going to the Chicago Food Bank. And I just want to promote that one last time. I haven't done it on the podcast yet, but info is on my Twitter, and you'll be supporting a good cause and looking pretty sweet in that awesome,
pretty cool,
awesome merch. And if you don't want the merch, consider donating anyways. The link is on Twitter. That's my quick plug. And Jeff, do you have anything?
That was a nice plug, though.
Yeah, it was, isn't I
that sounded like professional. It was succinct.
Right, like I didn't even have that written up. It all just came out. Yeah. Jeff, do you have anything else to say?
Catch you on the flip side.
Catch you on the flip side.
Flip side.
This is the outro.